Welcome to this channel. I'm David, and if you are into bikepacking, mountain biking, traveling and also camping, then you are welcome on my channel. Running Beard Travels is an NGO based in Ghana, Buzua, and we support kids and youth in Ghana, Buzua. Currently I'm building a youth club there, so if you have the means, please support us by a donation. All the links are in our description of the video and it's on runningbeartravels.com. I work as a part-time bike mechanic in a shop here in my hometown, but this is the first time I'm going to set up a tubeless tire system on my mountain bike. A couple of weeks ago I bought myself a Scholle Crumpus, which you see in the back, and I tried out a tube system. I've always been running tube systems. This is the most common thing. But when I went on my journey through Ghana, I had a lot of punctures and even trouble to fix them on the road. And also getting the tubes in the right size was a pain. Luckily I had 2 tubes, but these also punctured. So this is my first try into tubeless, and I'm gonna take you along. Tubeless for a beginner, tubeless for a noob like myself. So welcome to my home garage. That's why I didn't film the video in our bike shop. I wanted to do it all by myself. Just for a disclaimer, I'm by no means sponsored by any brand. I bought everything with my own money, did my own research online. Of course, I asked some people in the shop what they would recommend, and I'm gonna get into the system I think will help me the most on my travels. There's a lot of discussion online about tubeless and not tubeless and this and that and the pros and the cons, but in my experience you have to try it for yourself. That's what I'm going to do. The tubeless system I chose is by a brand called Milkit. So the whole set has everything you need to set up a tubeless system, tubeless tire, and I will go more into detail once I set it up. The reason why I chose this system is that I can set up my sealant and my tubeless system through the valve, which I already installed on this rim. I will show you how I set up the valve and everything on the rim in a minute. The cool thing about this system is the valve will close and keep the air and the sealant inside the tire. Even if you remove the valve itself, everything will stay inside the tire, even if there's pressure inside the tire. Before I continue, I'll quickly show you how I set up the rim and dismounted the tire. First things first, time for a nice coffee. Very important. So basically, I just took off the tube, and to my surprise, there's already tubeless tape installed in these rims. I would just inspect if there are any damages, but as far as I can tell, this looks neat. So this is the rim tape which was suggested by my internet research for tubeless tires. One of the tapes, there are some other brands, but this is by WTB, the same brand which did my rims. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the valve that came with my tubeless kit is seated well inside of the rim. The problem now is you can see the hole, which is quite big because they already pinched in the hole into the rim tape. What I'm going to do is I will first put in air and see if everything is sealed without putting in the sealant, and if the air stays inside the rim and the wheel is seated on the bead properly, then I'm going to install the sealant. I will put in the sealant through the valve. Yeah, what I'm going to do now is, of course, try to fit the tire on the rim. This can sometimes be a little bit of a struggle, but we shall see, as we say. You see, one side is already in. One good advice I can give is to push one side completely to the other side. This will help you to fit the tire. See, try to push one side in completely. I managed to put on the tire. Unfortunately, this tire is really tight. I mean, it's good for the sealant system, but now I really need some high pressure to put it into the bead. First thing I'm going to do, I will put some pressure inside of the Milkit booster so that the tire can more easily jump on the bead and everything is sealed. Yeah, so I'm using this air pump. I'll set it up to minimum recommended pressure is 5 bar. So let me set this up to 6 bar and then see if this is enough to push it into the bead. I'm a little bit cautious because I've never done this before. So before I do something too extreme, I'd rather just try it with a little bit less pressure than too much pressure. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit loud. We managed the 6 bar easily. Let's try to boost it and put the tire on the bead. I guess this wasn't enough. I need to do it again with more pressure. Now we're gonna go for 8 bar. I see that the bead is almost there already. Let's try it. Okay. So I can see that the bead didn't properly popped. It's not in line, and I have to redo it again. But the good thing is the tire keeps the air. I'm gonna release the air and then redo the whole process with 10 bar, and I guess this is going to be enough. Another trick I'm gonna use now is some soapy water, and I'm going to put the soap water right where the bead is. This way it will make it easier for the tire to jump on the rim. I just spread it around the whole side because the other side looks already quite good. So one side is already in, it's just the other side. Let's see if it works. This looks good. I think it worked. So just to be sure, I will inflate the tire to the highest pressure possible on this tire and see if there's any place where air is moving out. So I will just inflate it to the maximum, and then after like 10 or 15 minutes I'll check if the air stays inside. If the air stays inside, I'll put in the sealant. I just checked, the air seems to stay inside. So far no leaks. The bead popped in well on both sides. Now I'm going to release some of the air. Like according to Milkit, you should leave around 1 bar to 1.5 bar inside the tire. Yeah, I think this should do it. Now I have to release the valve. So now, according to Milkit, for a mountain bike tire, you should use 100 to 120 milliliters of their milk. I will put in 125 just to kill the bottle. First, I'm going to try to put in around the half of the recommended milliliters. That's like 3.4 to 4 OZ. Then once everything is sealed and everything is not leaking, then I'm going to put in the other half of the sealant. So yeah, wish me luck. the whole set comes with this little pump, and I'll just go and put in the sealant. That's like half what I need, almost half what I need of what I need. That's like round about 60, so I shouldn't forget to close the valve. So I stick it in until I feel the floor. Okay, that should do it. That's like 60 ml. Let me squish it around a little bit to see if something comes out. So the good thing with this valve is, because there's this self-closing valve inside this rubber, it tends to not let anything come out. You hear a little bit of air, but the sealant seems to stick inside for the most part. And of course, the valve is not even inside, you know, that will seal everything. I'm just gonna squish it around a little bit to see if there's any leak on both sides, and if everything is okay, I'm gonna put in the rest of the sealant. But so far it seems that everything is fine. So now I'm going to put in the rest of the sealant, which is around about 120. I'll put in 125 just for the sake of it. See, it's bubbling a little bit, but so far for the most part nothing came out. Now I'm just going to put in the valve again and see if everything works fine. So before I put in air, I would just squish it around a little bit. Is it the right term? Squish it around, like turn the tire a little bit, just to give the sealant some room to move. So yeah, it's quite hard to do these things while filming, so I'm happy that I have this chest holder. So at first there was a little bit of sealant coming out of the valve in this area, but somehow it's sealed. So now I'm going to put some pressure in the tire and leave it for a little bit, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to continue with the other tire, and hopefully everything is going to seal. So I put in the maximum recommended air pressure of 2.8 bar, just to see if there are any holes and the sealant sticks inside. And on the other hand, you also want to put the maximum pressure inside just for the sealant to go anywhere inside of the rim and the tire. And of course, the more pressure you put in, the better. Some people even put in some more pressure inside of the tire. So I'm just going to leave it at the maximum recommended. I now finished the other tire, which even went faster. This one is a little bit more sturdy, but for some reason it jumped on the beat right away. So my recommendation is to at least use 9 bars, maybe even 10 bars, depending on the tire. I think the booster you can preload up to a max of 11 bar. So yeah, this was a pretty neat experience. So let me install the tires and then I'm gonna get back to you guys. Yeah, and before I forget, now that I installed the front tire first, the first tire I set up also kept the air, no leakage, nothing. Of course I have to do a test ride, but so far so good. and they are so light. Oh my gosh, this is a real difference to my other tires. I mean, if you have a look at the tubes which were inside my older tires, like my first tires, these are the Schwalbe Air Plus, which are puncture resistant, but man, they are way too heavy, and I hope I will never use them again on my journeys. But yeah, I guess just in case if something happens, I will always carry two spare tires, just maybe a little bit lighter ones. I'll install my tires and then get back to you guys. That was my beginner noob tubeless session, and I have to say, for my part, it wasn't that hard. The air stays inside. Of course, I first have to do my test ride with the bike, but the tires, they spin really, really smooth now. Listen to this. I love this sound, eh? Whoosh. So yeah, everything is sealed, everything runs smooth. The tires are in perfect alignment, even better than before with the heavy tubes. For my part, I can really recommend the Milkit set, and the milk itself is quite latex based, which I find quite good, but we will have to see. If I get the first puncture, I will give you an update of how the milk performs. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, maybe share it with some people. I'm a noob when it comes to tubeless. I never set up the tubeless tire before, and I guess you can see it in the video a little bit. I can also recommend the Milkit Booster. It helps immensely. Like, once I knew how to use the booster, it was just very simple. The second tire just went in smoothly right away, and everything went into the beat. So yeah, I guess the first try with the first tire, I used not enough pressure. I went from 6 bars, then to 8 bars, and then to 9 bars. And for some reason, the front tire, because the front tire is a little bit more rubbery, and it tended to stick more on the beat. So the soap water really helped. That's a very good advice. If you are having trouble to get the tire on the beat or on the rim, use soapy water, and it will make things very easy. So like, subscribe, and recommend this video if you want. My next video is going to be a travel video. I'm going to Brandenburg, and also over the weekend I'm going to cruise around Berlin. So these are going to be my next travel videos, which I'm going to shoot by the end of the month, and then sometime in September I'm going to release both of the videos. So have a good one and keep paddling.